So we'll be talking about sentence. Uh, in Arabic, sentence is called jumla, right? Jumla, jumlatun. So jumla has, in the most basic case, it has two parts, okay? Simple sentence has two parts. I'll write in English first and then Arabic, which is subject and predicate, okay? In the basic, it has two parts, subject and predicate. And some of these words you have to also start memorizing in Arabic terms. Subject is mubtada, mubtada, mubtada is a subject, and predicate is what? Khabar. Subject and predicate, okay? So by the way, mubtada, yes. So let me give you one quick example, and then we'll start the most basic one that we've been studying all this thing. هذا رجل, رجل, right? هذا رجل. No. So we've seen this kind of example a lot, right? So mubtada, and so basically what's happening, the first one, this one is subject, subject or meme for mubtada, and predicate or khabar, right? So what we, this sentence should be extremely simple for all of us, right? We know a lot about this sentence, but we want to look at it a little bit differently right now. So subject and predicate. So the first one, hada is a subject and predicate, rajulun is predicate. So just by looking at this thing, few things we can draw conclusion about the subject and predicate. Number one, you have to know what we're talking about right now. This is the standard asl, the original situation, the default case, okay? So, and I'll tell you where there is an exception and when we're going to learn about this exception. Right now, I'll just give you the pure simple rules about these things. Subject comes first. Simple. Why? And that's why it's called mubtada. Mubtada. Mubtada is something that starts with. Okay? Mubtada, like bada'a means to begin. Okay? Bada'tu dirasa. I began studying. So the question is, isn't the predicate is fa'il? Oh, no. When you say fa'il, that word does not, maybe I should clarify something. We're talking about nominative sentence. Okay, maybe. When you talk about jumlatul ismiya, anytime we have this ism, the noun, the fi'l, fa'il, maf'ul bihi, they don't exist. Those are all part of the verbal sentence. Okay. Nominative sentence, these are the terms you have to know, the mubtada and khabar. That's it, mubtada and khabar. That's nothing else you have to know about this kind of sentence. So you have to find out which one is the mubtada and which one is the khabar, and what are their rules, right? So the mubtada, so the rule number one, we found out the mubtada, the subject always comes in the beginning. So mubtada is the one that starts the sentence. That's why it's called mubtada, something that begins. Okay. Now, okay, so that's number one we know. Second, what else do you know about mubtada? Usually it's what? It is what, as sister pointed out, is ma'rifa. It's definite. Okay. Ma'rifa is definite. So usually it will be definite. Both of them are usually. This is also usually. This one is not also 100%. You can have mubtada, you can have subject come later. But that's why I don't want you guys to think in any other way right now. You just need to focus on the basic rules. Okay, so first thing is that it should come in the beginning. Subject comes beginning, and it is usually definite. So let's just look at these two traits or characteristics. So we said hada is subject. Is it coming first? Yes. And is it definite? Well, I don't know. Is it definite? Hada, is it definite? Guys? Okay, yes. And why? Why is it definite? Because it is ismu ishara. It's pointing pronoun. Pointing means by definition that you're pointing at something. Yes. So it is one of the definite word. هذا is definite. So both of them are, alhamdulillah, working out. Now, so let's, there's a few more things we'll talk about subject, but let's move to predicates. Let's see what we can say about predicate. So if the subject comes first, so we can, this is a common sense, but I'll write it anyway. Usually follows subject. Doesn't know, I'm not sure if it makes too much sense or not, but what we want to say is that basically it comes after after the subject. That's the usual case, right? But what is the most important thing that we need to know about predicate? What is that? Anybody can guess? Nakira, yes, indefinite. Usually nakira. Nakira, indefinite. All right, so this is where your D and I comes from, right? That's the rules. If you open any grammar rules, right, any grammar books, that's how they will say al-mubtada an yakuna ma'rifa wa khabar an yakun nakira. Mubtada should be definite and the khabar should be indefinite, right? So these are our basic rules about nominative sentence. What? The subject comes first, predicate comes after subject. The subject is definite, predicate is indefinite. And if we look at it, what's going on with the predicate, is it following subject? Yes. Is it indefinite? Yes. So this is our D and I, the simple thing that we use to identify, right? Now, yes, the pronoun is also definite. But interesting thing is in English, they will probably say these, those, they will identify or group them or categorize them in what? In pronouns. In Arabic, they actually put them separately. They call ismu ishara. Now, few things, I want to put one more sentence and then we want to see something. I want to put one more sentence and let's see what's going on. Al-bintu صغيرة. Al-bintu صغيرة. Okay. First question, is it a sentence? So here, obviously, you have to know the translation. Let's say someone can translate this one for me. Yes, the girl. Yes. The girl is small. Okay. So now, if you just look at it in English, everything is clear, because see, that's why that's where the translation barrier comes into play. We can see the subject and predicate from English, but we might have a little bit difficult from the Arabic because our language is not there. So here you can easily see that's the subject and the small is the predicate. So now it should be clear. This is mubtada and this is khabar, right? Now, so now is mubtada what needs to be for the mubtada? Is it definite? Is it ma'rifa? Yes, we have alif lam. It's absolutely definite. Okay. And is it coming before the predicate? Yes, that's your subject, right? And what about predicate khabar? Is it indefinite? Yes, indefinite. Is it following the subject? Yes, it's following the subject. So our basic simple rule is working, and every single sentence that we've seen so far, inshallah, you will see they're following the same simple rules. These are very, very simple rules, and that's how you construct any sentence. So these are, I don't want to spend too much time here because inshallah, we've dealt with this thing before. Now, so here's another thing that you have to know, and this is where I want to make sure you guys understand, is agreement. There's a little bit about agreement you have to know about between these two. What are the agreements between the subject and predicate? There's something they have to agree with each other. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So by just by looking at these two, I'm pretty sure you should be able to find out something is going on. What's going on? What do you think is the agreement? Here, Maybe I should give you another sentence. Yeah, just quick sentence. Al-waladu. So again, I'm writing on my screen here. Saghirun. All right. So now look at these two sentences and think about what kind of agreement does the subject and predicate has with each other. They have to agree with what? Agree with anyone? Gender. They have to agree with gender, yes. This is very important rule you have to understand. They must agree with the gender. So if the subject is masculine, your predicate must be masculine. Okay, so that's one of the very important rules. So basically, if subject masculine, predicate masculine. Subject feminine, predicate feminine. You understand, right? Good. And you can see that's exactly what's happening here. Al-bintu, okay, al-bint is girl, and we're saying saghira. So you cannot say al-bintu saghirun, nor can you say here al-waladu saghiratun. Okay, so the gender needs to match. So for example, now if you want to say, I'm confused, what if the subject is indefinite? And yes, you see that, yes, right now we have to play with these things, and I'll give you a little bit exception at the end, but I'm not going to give you too much exception. Okay, but right now, if you have to know first thing that the subject needs to be definite. This thing has to be, inshallah, in your mind, very strong and firm. And I'll give you a little bit examples. Yes, subject, that's why we're talking about usually, right? The word, I was being a little bit careful saying usually. I'll give you some example when the subject is not definite. But there are a lot of rules how you use that. It's not easy, okay? And inshallah, we'll talk about this one. So the agreement is clear that they have to agree with the gender, right? So I just wanted to give you one example. If I say a sayyaratu, which is a car, the car, right? So you want to say the car is beautiful, and here obviously the sayyara is not a person or anything, but still we have to match the gender. We have to agree with the gender, and I want to say beautiful. So there's two options. I can say jamilun or I can say jamilatun, and the answer would be obviously jamilatun. We talked about this a lot, so I'm just pointing them out here. And now, and by the way, you know, here I'm not spending time about this tanwin. We've covered them extensively. We know what's going on, right? The default, you understand? So inshallah, some other time when we start talking about Arab, I will mention a few more interesting things about these things. Right now, these are not our discussion. Main thing is that what? The subject should be coming first, number one. Number two, it should be definite, right? And then the predicate should be following it, and it should be indefinite, and they should be agreeing with what? The gender. But there's few exceptions, as you know, you guys probably are thinking about. I do have to mention them. One of them is, here's some exceptions. One of them is if you have predicate. I'm not giving you as a proper explanation, which will be very big discussion, right? So I'll give you the exception that you'll be seeing it, and you have to understand that. If predicate is proper name, if predicate is proper name, okay? So what does it mean? If predicate is proper name is what? Definite or indefinite? Proper name is definite. So in this situation, predicate can be definite. It can be definite. The most two examples you'll be seeing, that these are the only two examples I'll give you, you know, so that, you know, I want to restrict some of these rules so that you don't get overwhelmed. I can give you the rules, but you're not going to be seeing those rules, and you'll get overwhelmed. The two most examples you will find is with the pronouns and the demonstrative pronouns. For example, you say هذا محمد محمد. Now what's going on here? Something's fishy here. هذا is what? It's our predicate, it's our mubtada, because it's starting the sentence. Mubtada always begins, right? It's starting. Again, always is air quote. It's starting. Now it's definite. Yes, it's definite. And this is our predicate, khabar. But is it indefinite? No, it's not indefinite. It is definite. Something looks weird, right? Muhammad. Okay. Now, so here, when you're talking about, just think about the proper name perspective. Okay, I can give you a different way, but that will be a little bit more difficult to understand. But think about from the proper name perspective, because these things you're going to be seeing in the book. If I don't explain to you and you're thinking about D&I, you will get confused. So when it comes to proper name, then the proper name, it can be predicate. Okay, and obviously proper names are definite. And here's another example you'll be seeing very, very soon, which is huwa Muhammad. Now what is huwa? Was definite, and it's your subject, and Muhammad is predicate, but it is also what? Definite. You understand? So right now, just to make your life simple, just think about from the proper name perspective, instead of finding about the rules that, when you have a pronouns and blah, 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 those things are not that important right now, right? So just think about when you have a proper name, predicate can be proper name. So if predicate can be proper name, and proper name we know already definite, so we don't care about that. You understand? Is it clear? So we say here, Mina. What goes here? Somebody, what goes here? 2, yes, because this is one of those special rule in proper female name. You cannot have tanween. It will be Amina 2. Okay. One rule that I think I mentioned in the other class will always come. So maybe I should explain to you this one. For example, when you say fil baiti, what is fil baiti means? Fil baiti in the house. And now can you translate this one for me? Here I'm going to show you 2 rules that it breaks. And this is the one of the expression that you will find more often. Usually they just translate, they don't talk too much about this, but I'll just mention it. So how do you translate this one? Fil baiti babun. Yes, you can, a door. You can say a lot of ways. A door is in the house, or you can say there is a door in the house, or you can say in the house there is a door. Okay, regardless of how you say it. So even in English it's kind of difficult to say. Which one is your subject? In the house, because if you translate word for word, you can say in the house there is a door. However you say it, which one is the subject? In English, just look at the English one. Yes, the door is the subject. It's not easy to find that. Oh yeah, you're counting my teeth, yes. Do I have more teeth now? Yes. Okay, now, so the door is the subject, okay? This is your subject, right? And in the house, it's your predicate. So what's going on here? In Arabic, it would be the same thing. The ba is subject, and fil baiti is predicate. Okay, these are special words for this kind of sentences called shibh jumla when I'm learning about those. But I just wanted to show the sister's point. Here, subject is it definite or indefinite? Indefinite, yes. It is indefinite. So two rules broke. Number one, subject is indefinite. And number two, it says what? Subject comes first. It's not coming first. All right. So there's a lot of talk about these things. So that's why I don't want to mention too much. I'm just showing you there is an exception, but these things are explained differently. For example, here, there's no way in Arabic language it will be allowed for you to say babun fil baiti. There's no way it will be allowed to say in Arabic language, right? Just simple as like that, babun fil baiti. Why? Because you cannot start a sentence with indefinite subject. Anyway, so those rules, inshallah, we'll study them, right? So I just wanted to show you something here. This kind of sentence, you'll see it, but even I think we've seen this kind of sentence, but they will not talk about these things, right? That's because, you know, in order to talk about this thing, I have to explain so many different concepts. Okay, what's going on, right? So don't worry too much about this thing. Only thing that I want you to know about these three golden rules about, well, not golden rules, the three more basic rules about the subject and predicate. The subject needs to come first, number one. Okay, number one, it needs to come first. Number two, it needs to be definite. And number three is what? They have to have agreement with the gender. All right, so now you can think the other way. What's going on with the predicate? Predicate usually follows the subject and it is indefinite, and it's, you know, both of them kind of has the same, you know, number, right? It is usually indefinite, and what? They are agreeing with the gender. And the exceptions that what we talk about, these are, you know, right now I'm using as an exception, you know, they might say these are rules, but I just want to mention that if the predicate is a proper name, then predicate can be definite. Like hada Muhammadun huwa Muhammad. Hadihi Aminatu hiya Amina. Make sense? If you understand this much, guys, inshallah, we can handle the next chapter without any problem. Okay. Now, so we're starting with ad-darsu al-thamin. Ad-darsu al-thamin. Okay, 8th lesson, mashallah. So we are in the 8th lesson. So let's quickly read them. It says, هذا الرجل. So هذا الرجل. Be careful, it's not the same thing as هذا رجل. It's not the same thing. هذا رجل, you have, it's a complete sentence. You know, we have the mubtada is definite and predicate is indefinite. Okay, so this is not the case. So here we have هذا الرجل, and we talked about this thing. This is what? How do you translate this part? This man, yes. Okay, so you can kind of think about that, you know. Right now, I don't want to use the word adjective phrase here because next chapter, inshallah, we'll be talking a lot about adjective phrase. Here, you can just think about this phrase will be translated as هذا الرجل. The هذا الرجل will be translated as this man. Now you're saying something about, so this whole thing is subject. Now you want to say something about the man, which is what? Tajir. What is tajir? Tajirun is merchant or businessman, right? So this is your predicate. And our rule is still the same. The subject is definite and predicate is indefinite. The rule hasn't changed, or there's no exception in this rule here. Okay, so هذا الرجل, you can say the هذا is the subject, okay, and tajir is predicate. You can say this, no problem. And then you, so what is the rajul? You will just say it's the sifa, or actually it's not sifa, it could be badal. But anyway, but for simplicity, you can say it's an adjective to the subject. All right, now, so هذا الرجل تاجر, you translate this man is a businessman or merchant. وذلك الرجل, and that man is طبيب, is a doctor. All right, so basically we're learning in this chapter, that's the only thing they're teaching you, by the way, because they know that you guys been seeing it, ذلك رجل, هذا رجل, you know, they know that's all you know so far, but now they're showing you, if you want to say this man or that man, then you need to make the rajul with the definite as well. You have to add the alif lam. So you say هذا الرجل or ذلك رجل. Okay, now, is it clear? And then you still see there's a break between this part and this part. So this is your subject and this is your predicate. You can say this, the dhalika is your subject, but the rajul is just, adjective to the subject. So you understand? So that's the point. Now, any question here? Because if we understand this sentence and there's no question about this sentence, I'm just quickly going to translate the rest. Honestly, the rest is just following this same rule. So then let's move forward. So next one, it says ismu tajiri. So what kind of construction is this? What kind of phrase is idafa, right? See, there's no alif lam, there's no tanwin, and the second one we have kasra. So this would be the name. I still want to write with the off way. You can say with the apostrophe s, the name of the merchant. The name of the merchant is Muhammad. Muhammad is name, right? So what did we say about proper name being predicate? So here, which one is subject and which one is predicate? Let's just quickly, I'm probably going to spend one or two. We're going to go a little bit details and the rest we'll just translate. So which one is subject? The name of the merchant is Muhammad. So this is your subject and this is your predicate. Now, is predicate definite or indefinite? Definite, but we spend whole rules trying to convince you the predicate needs to be indefinite. So what is the exception? Why is it definite here? What is the rule? What did we say? Proper name. That's it. If you just understand like that, alhamdulillah, I think this book is fine. I don't think in this book they will give you any other exceptions, where the predicate is definite. Clear? Now, so the name of the merchant is Muhammad and wa ismu tabib, and the name of the doctor is Sa'id. Okay? Ismu tabibi Sa'idun. Yes? Now, then we say هذا البيت. It's not هذا بيت. هذا بيت is completely different chapter. هذا بيت means this is a house. This is هذا البيت. So we say this house. Okay? هذا البيت. هذا البيت what? للتاجر. What is li? I think I explained to you what's going on. When you have two lam like this, I explained to you, right? This is basically harful jar, li with alif lam. Yes. للتاجر. So this is for, how do you translate? للتاجر is for the merchant. Okay, so we have our kasra here because of the preposition. So this house is for the merchant. That's a complete sentence. Wa is of course and. وَذَلِكَ الْبَيْتُ, and that house لِلطَّبِيب, for the doctor. Very simple stuff, right? It's just that because he's adding wow, looks like a big sentence. Honestly, this is your sentence. Where is it? That's it. This is the whole sentence. هذا البيت للتاجر وذلك البيت للطبيب. Clear? Now, Baytu Tajiri, the house of the merchant. What? I'm waiting for it. So that means this is not a complete sentence here, because Baytu Tajir, this is not this one. This is what? Idafa. So the house of the merchant is what? Amama. What is amama? Front. In the front, yes. Front of, in the front, right? So you have the off because the reason why we want to write front off, because this word amama will always be the first part of the idafa. So after that, you have to have mudaf ilayh, right? So amama, so it will be front of what? Al-masjid. You see, this is same thing. The first one doesn't take tanween, is without alif lam. And the second word, we have kasra. So front of the masjid. This one. The house of the merchant, if you can read my handwriting, is front of the mosque. Subhanallah. All right, so that's all. That's what's going on in here. Sorry, that's what's going on here. Okay. What is the word used here for front? Amama. Amama is the word, means front. Is that your question? Yes. Yes. Okay. So the house of the businessman is front of the masjid. Wa بيت الطبيب, and the house of the doctor. خلفة. خلفة is what? Opposite of أمامة. If you know what أمامة is, you should know what خلفة is. What is خلفة? Behind. Yes, behind. Behind what? المدرسة. Behind the school. Okay. So I hope you know the meanings of these words, right? It's not that difficult, right? The house of the doctor is behind the school. The sentence looks huge, guys, but it's really, when you translate word for word, alhamdulillah, it's not complicated. It's good? Alhamdulillah. So next one we have liman hadhihi sayyaratu. Liman. Liman is, remember we have two. We have a li, harful jar, and we have man. Li is for, man is who, for who. Simple translation. For who, هذه السيارة. هذه السيارة. How do you translate? This is not هذه سيارة. If you say هذه سيارة, this is a whole different meaning. Okay, if you say this one, if you just remove the alif lam, it means something else. It means this is a car. But it's saying هذه السيارة. Huh? So what does it, how do you translate this one? Yes, so this part is this car. هذه السيارة, this car. So for who is this car? Or this car is for who? However you translate in English, but the concept is there, right? Waliman tilka, and for who is that? You know, so tilka here in the context, you understand what's going on, right? So for who is this car and for who is that? However you translate in English, that's up to you guys, but that's the question. The concept is that, right? You understand? Clear? So again, they're trying to push you to understand, get used to this kind of phrase. When you have هذا, هذه, when you have ismu ishara, demonstrative pronoun, and after that you have what? Definite noun. So هذه السيارة, هذا البيت, هذا الرجل, that kind of phrase. So here we have هذه السيارة للطبيب وتلك للتاجر وتلك للتاجر وتلك للتاجر. You need any shackles? You need the harakat here? للطبيب وتلك للتاجر. Okay, so this car is for the doctor and that car is for the merchant. All of these vocabularies, we have mastered them, inshallah. We have seen them before, you know. It's just right now, the only thing is that the construction, you have to be careful about the phrases, like the grammar rules. What kind of sentence or the phrases are there? That's the only thing. But the words, these are, alhamdulillah, we've seen them before, right? Next one is هذه السيارة من اليابان. What does that mean? This car, هذه السيارة, this car, we're translating this one is this car, هذه السيارة, this car, mean, it's not man, it would be here, it would be min. From al-Yaban, al-Yaban is, remember, Japan. So this car is from Japan, وَتِلْكَ مِنْ أَمْرِيكَ. Okay, and that one is from, or you don't have to say that one, you can say that is, it's fine, you don't have to say one. That is from America. Now, excellent. So it looks like you guys are getting it. Ahsantum. Well done. See, that's it. That's all that in terms of text, that's all the text is. Then we have tamrin exercises, tamarin. But so what is they're trying to push you? Only thing they're trying to push you is this concept after hada and hadihi, when you have a definite, when you have alif lam, think about hada, hadihi, and then you have alif lam, it is your phrase. Okay? Hada al-baytu, this house. Hada baytun, this is a house. Okay? Hada rajulu, this man. Hada rajulun, this is a man. So that's the only thing they're trying to explain to you. Okay? Now this question, Ajib anil as'ilatil atiya, it goes back to the reading comprehension, right? So inshallah you can read them and try to, let's see if we can do one of them. Man hadha rajul wa man dhalika rajul. So how would you translate? You can say it in English first. Man hadha rajulu wa man dhalika rajul. It would be, how do you translate? Who is this man and who is that man? So how do you find? Well, they're talking about this one. هذا الرجل تاجر. You can simply just don't copy and paste, but this is simply the answer. هذا الرجل تاجر. Or you can say هو تاجر, but for the practice purpose, just write هذا الرجل تاجر وذلك الرجل طبيب. Okay. So basically it's asking who is this man, who is that man. You say this man is the businessman and that man is what? A doctor. Now, Masmu at-Tajir. What is the name of the businessman? Did they give? Oh yeah, they give the name. Ismu Tajir Muhammad. Okay. Okay. So inshallah you'll find all of the answers in the book, right? So inshallah you can try them in home. If you have any question, you can ask me next time. I will. It looks like all of them very simple. You just most of them answer is just right there. You can just copy, not copy meaning the answer is right there. Ismu Tajir Muhammad, right? Or Ismu Tabib Saeed, right? But what will help you is that you're translating, you're reading it, what's going on, you're trying to read them and going back. When you do them, you're exposing to this text few times, and inshallah that will help you with the reading comprehension and also vocabularies. Jayyid. Yes, this continues. Then you have Iqra Waktub. Remember what I said about this kind of exercise. The main thing is not to read and write. You're welcome to read and write, but when you write, I want you to put all the harakat, like هذا ولد هذا الولد خالد وذلك الولد محمد. Okay, then try to translate. This boy is Khalid and that boy is Muhammad. All right, so this will help you. Can you read without harakat? Okay, هذا الرجل مدرس وذلك الرجل مهندس. Right? Now, I don't see any new words here. This one might looks weird, but can somebody read this one? It looks weird. So, but what's the word? What is it saying? You can get it from the context. هذه سيارة لعلي. Yes, exactly. I don't see any new words here. Daraja is bicycle. I think we had this one. Mu'adhin is the one who calls adhan. It's just a name. Li Abbas. All right. Now, for example, let's do the last one. Okay, let's do the last one. It says, هذا السكين. What is sikin? What is sikin? Words. Knife. Okay, sikin is knife. So this sikin, you're not saying هذا sikinun. This is a knife. No, this sikin, right? We have alif lam and هذا. This sikin, minal what? Almania or Almania. What is Almania? I thought. So you have to be careful. This almost looks like alif lam, but this is not alif lam because you have a hamza here. Almania. Who knows what? Germany. Yes, good. That's good. It's from Germany. وتلك الملعقة. ملعقة. What is ملعقة? Spoon. We have to go over some of the words, okay? And that spoon is from min what? Inkaltara. Honestly, I always have a hard time pronouncing it non-Arab. When they Arabize English word, that is more difficult to pronounce than the Arabic word itself. England, yes, it is England. No. Okay. So here is saying اقرأ المثال الآتية ثم حول الجمل الآتية مثله. So read these examples and then try to make sentence in the following this example. So he's saying هذا كتاب. See, هذا كتاب. This is not هذا الكتاب. This is a complete sentence. Okay, you have a definite. This is a mubtada and a khabar, which is indefinite. Everything goes well, and this is a sentence. هذا كتاب. This is a book. But here we have a different. It's هذا الكتاب. This book. If you stop here, this is not mufid. This is not complete sentence. This book, what? What about this book? Now you need your khabar. This is your khabar. Khabar is what is about this book? Li Muhammadin is for Muhammad. Okay, so this is your subject and this one is predicate. Yes? Now. So now basically they want you to do, for example, hada tabibun. This is a doctor. So how do you say? It's simple thing. And this exercise is really good exercise. So you will be mastering the difference between hada tabibun and hada tabib. So what do you say? You say hada at-tabib. Okay, hada tabibu. Here you have to put mina because of alif lam, min al-hindi. Okay, this doctor is from India. He's from India. Here you have هذه سيارة. It's a complete sentence. This is a car. But they want you to say هذه السيارة. But it's not complete. This car is للمدير. للمدير. For the, what is mudir? Depends, mudir has many different meanings based on the context. In the school, it will be probably principal. In the company, it will be a director or general manager, something like that. Okay, so guys, this is a good exercise. Repetition is the main key. What is this word? Baydatun. Anybody remembers? Eggs. Egg. Okay, baydat is egg. So هذه baydatun. This is an egg. Then you have said هذه البيضة كبيرة. See, agreement. Remember we talked about the subject and predicate needs to agree. So basically, because the predicate is feminine, you have to use the feminine demonstrative pronoun. You cannot say هذا بيضة. That is wrong. Then we have what? Same thing. لمن هذه الكتاب. هذا الكتاب لمحمد. Okay, so another good exercise. So you're asking about whose pen is that, whose book is that, and how do you answer? So how do you ask? You have this pen, you want to ask someone, whose pen is this? How do you ask the question whose? You ask by saying liman. Yes, just if it's a man, then it means who. Yes, you need the li. Just man, it's not gonna work here. You have to say liman. This kind of question you can ask about anything. Liman hada, liman hadihi. Okay, for who is, for example, you don't even have to say the pen. If you're pointing at something, let's say in home, you're pointing at something, you're saying liman hada. For who is this? Just the fact that you're pointing, everybody knows what you're talking about. So liman hada al-kitab, and here we're gonna say liman hada what? Al-qalam. You just miss this alif lam, this makes no sense. Then it will be like, for who this is a pen. It's not going to make sense. So you have to know when to use hada qalamun and when to use hada qalamun. Then you answer by, you can also say huwa li Abbas. Why am I saying huwa? What is huwa means? Huwa means it. See, this huwa, it can mean it or he. I don't know if we had something like that in this class or not, but huwa and hiya, both of them, remember huwa and hiya, these pronouns, you can use it for it as well. What is the question? In the liman, doesn't meme has fatha? Yes, remember, you have to be careful with the sneaky meme. Before the meme, we have a lam. So you have to, because I might not write it like that, but the book will write it like this. So I can, even if I help you, I'm not helping you. If I write like this, maybe it's helping you from reading my handwriting, but that's not going to help you with this one. You see, it's the same thing. Now, which one is it? Is it fatha? Is it on the top of meme or lam? You don't know. You have to know. So you kind of have to get used to it. These are exactly the same thing. You understand? These are sneaky meme, right? Now, جيد. So what we have here is same thing. Here's another thing you have to know. By looking at the picture, you have to know, what's the question? It's not idafa. It's not idafa, it's ismu majrur. Because idafa, it's a different, from our understanding, it looks the same thing. But from the grammatical perspective, they will say, li is jar, right? Harful jar. And Abbas is what? You know this. I know you know this because you answered once. Ismu majrur. Okay. So li would be harful jar, and majrur. You understand? But when you say something like that, Kitabu Muhammad, and of course that would be your idaf and mudaf ilayh. Okay, so these terms, if someone else didn't understand, that's fine. But it's not fine. You kind of have to understand that the lam is harful jar, and after harful jar, anyway, the term is not important. As first thing is that as long as you know after lam, because it's a preposition, you need a kasra. That is the most important thing, because this is your preposition, right? Now, see, the rules will be keep on adding up, so we can never forget about the previous rules, and we can't because these rules will come anyway, right? So for example, see, our preposition rules are keep on coming, right? Now, Jayed. So before you do this, what we have to know this word. We see a nice beautiful picture, so we have to know what this picture is. So you have to know what is miftah, right? Miftah, yes, miftah. So now you can construct liman hadha al-miftahu. Okay, then you can say al-miftahu, or you can say who, or hadha al-miftahu li aliyin. Okay, just follow this exactly same thing. Basically, you keep this one. Only thing is you change this part. That's the only thing. Once you do a few times, inshallah, it will be easy. Only thing you're changing is this part, just this part. Okay, and everything else. And here, of course, you put li. Once we add li, okay, and you know the rules of li. It's going to be kasra. Li aliyin. Okay, lil mudiri. Okay, so few different rules to play with. Harful jar rule, the preposition rule, and what? And this new rule that we learned how to construct hadal qalam, hadal kitab, like that. And what are you going to do here? You will say liman hadhihi al-baqarah. Right? Why using hadhihi? Because why? Because baqarah is feminine. Yes. No? Yes. Hopefully it's yes. Wow, there's a lot of them. That's why this book is what this book is, right? That's why everybody follows this book. The exercise is very, very important. Now, so let's see what's going on. Subhanallah. Okay. That's very important things. I don't have full time to explain to you, but let's see. It says, carefully observe the following examples. So let's carefully examine and see if we can understand what he's trying to say. Al-baytu fil bayti. Fil bayti, right? It's all rule. We know this, right? It's preposition, jar, and the next one is ismu majrur. That means after preposition, you always get kasra. So al-baytu fil bayti. Is it clear? Because now what is happening? Al-mustashfa fil mustashfa. Whoa. What happened to the kasra? Why there's no kasra here? Al-mustashfa fil mustashfa. There's no kasra here. Amrika fi Amrika. Where's the kasra? Almania fi Almania. No kasra. What's going on? So basically what they're showing you is this interesting concept. I have 10 minutes, maybe I can quickly explain to you. These kind of words, these kind of nouns are called ismu maksur. Okay, that when you have a noun that ends with alif, this is alif and this is also alif. Both of them are alif. Okay, remember there's no dot here. At the end, if you have here, this is not your ya, this is alif. In the Quran, at least they will, I think they put something like that, small alif on the top, so that you're not confused. So this is an alif. When you have any noun that ends with alif, like we have this case, America, this is an alif. Almania is an alif. Then it called ismu maksur, not maksur, maksur, which basically means that nouns ending with alif maksura. You can also learn this one, alif maksura. Maksura. Okay, so basically if it ends with alif maksura, this alif is called alif maksura. This alif, you might want to learn this name, alif maksura. There's another one, alif mamduta, but it's not coming here. So alif maksura is when you have an alif at the end that looks like ya or like this here. You understand? So when you have a noun that ends with alif maksura, then they cannot take any harakat. Not only kasra, they cannot take any harakat. So there will not be any dhamma, there will not be any fatha, there will not be any kasra. Okay? And what's the rule? It's a little bit, if we have a proper discussion, it's a little bit advanced. It's basically alif can never take anything. Alif is always sukun. Remember this golden rule. Alif is always, always sukun. Alif can never, ever, ever have any harakat. If there's any harakat, even if you see something like this, like for example, ismu, we say ismu, well, brother, you just told me alif doesn't take any harakat, but here's the harakat. You're putting kasra in the alif. Guys, this is not alif. What is this? Somebody? And no, you have to be careful. If you just say hamza, it's not complete. People will get confused. It has a better name. Hamzatul wasl. Yes. It is hamzatul wasl. It's called weak hamza. All right. So another thing you have to remember, alif can never start. Alif can never ever come in the beginning. So I just said it and you're like looking at this thing, brother. You told me alif cannot start in the beginning. I see this alif right in the beginning. What is this? What's the answer? This is what? Is it alif? What is this? No, it's not alif. It's hamzatul wasl. Alif will always come in the middle or at the end, right? And what is another? And what is another rule of alif? I just mentioned to you. It is always sukun. It will never take haraka. So that's why you cannot put anything in here. Even though you want to, let's say you put something here. I don't want to give you the terms. In Arabic, they'll probably say it's taqdiri, meaning they will say the harakat is there, kasra is there. For example, here, dhamma is here, and kasra is here, but you cannot see it. So you have to just imagine it's there. But anyway, we don't have to go that far. Just think about right now that because it's alif, it cannot take any harakat. Not only the kasra. Look, we have al-baytu. We cannot say dhamma here. We cannot say al-mustasfayu. It's very difficult to pronounce. That's why they will. You can't. Right? Is it clear? If this much is clear, then inshallah we can wrap up. But I want to make sure you guys understand this thing. Okay? It's pretty interesting and important topic. So for example, minal bayti ilal bayti. He say minal mustashfa hasn't changed a bit. In every single situation, it's been the same situation. Same thing goes for America. America fi America min America ila America. Almania fi Almania min Almania ila Almania. All right. Just remember this rule. If you have alif at the end or alif in anywhere, alif will never be in the beginning anyway. If you have alif, it's always sukun. It cannot take any harakat. So it will never have fatha, dhamma, or kasra. All right. Good question. Mustashfa is hospital. Mustashfa is a hospital, and America is America, right? And this is Germany. Okay. If you guys have any question, I don't want to go too much far here. These things, inshallah, it's almost done, right? So next week we'll just quickly wrap up, and then we'll start with the new chapter. The new chapter is big one, guys. We'll talk about adjective, inshallah.